What's going on with the British farmers?
But as many people have seen now, of course, it's an absolute travesty what this Labour government have done to them by saying that anybody who has an estate worth over £1 million is going to pay, I think it was 50% inheritance tax, which is going to decimate farmers because every farm, well, not every farm, but a hell of a lot, I'm sure I think over three quarters, are worth well over £1 million. The land alone is worth over £1 million, let alone the buildings on the sites. And then it's only been revealed in the last couple of days. There's actually a caveat to this as well that nobody seemed to notice that they won't be able to share that tax burden with the spouses, with the families. So you'd normally be able to share that tax liability and then you'd be able to probably be able to keep the farm. But now if you can't share it, that is solely going to fall onto one person, making it almost impossible to hand those farms down to the next generation. So what's going to happen to those farms? It's going to be like just on Europe, where big conglomerates come along, buy up all the land, put some stupid solar panels on it or something like that, something along those lines, or housing estates, and then you lose your food supply, you lose your farms. And as the popular phrase goes at the minute, hashtag no farmers, no food.
Absolutely shocking. I mean, didn't we learn a lesson during World War II that if we can't produce our own food, our enemies can starve us to death? Because Hitler almost did that to us. He almost forced us into conceding because we were running out of food and he was sinking all the merchant vessels bringing food to the UK. And again, this falls right into the palms of big businesses. That there'll be a glut of failed farms across the country because they can't afford the mortgages, remortgages they've had to take to pay for the inheritance tax. And these big firms will come along and they'll snap them all up. Some they'll hold on to for decades and decades. You're right. Some will be sold to create housing estates. Others will be joined together to produce huge American-sized fields where there's no hedgerows, there's no nature. There's like a mile long, and they just plow and plow and plow and plow. It will change the face of the English countryside.
It will, yeah, and it'd be absolutely devastating. When you think of England, our green and pleasant land, you think of hedgerows, you think of these stone walls, etc., and farming land. And again, it can't be stressed enough. This is the backbone of Britain. As you rightly said, we'd have starved to death in the war if it wasn't for farms. I mean, even that at the time wasn't really enough to keep us going. It only just with the help of the Americans and others sending food over here in the first place. But it's like these people are doing it on purpose. These farms don't work off big margins. If anything, they're ripped off by big supermarket chains on a weekly basis. But they still, they turn a small profit. But it's not a massive profit. These people aren't millionaires sat on huge fortunes. They're up at the crack of dawn when you and I are still in bed, waiting for the milkman to come round and deliver a pint of milk. These people are out there getting that milk when you're still asleep and stuff. This is backbreaking work, and these people should be commended. They should be given tax breaks. They should be given incentives to, if not scale back farming in this country, but to actually increase farming in this country. Because without them, we'd have absolutely nothing. The best piece of advice that you can really give is what Jeremy Clarkson said the other day. Who It's a good thing he's on the side of the farmers, by the way. I've never been a big fan of Clarkson, but he's going to be a prominent voice for this campaign against the government, I think, in favour of the farmers. And he said, just try and keep calm for the next 5 years, and this shower will be gone. And that's the best thing you can really do. And any party, the Tories have already said they'll do it. Whether it'll make a difference, I don't know. But any party that says at the next general election, first thing we will do, day one, is reverse this inheritance tax on farms, will win the election.
I wouldn't for one moment trust the Tories on this whatsoever. The Tories, after Blair, could have reversed almost everything Blair ever did. They reversed nothing. If the Tories win the next election, they'll come in, they'll promise all these things, they'll come in, and then they'll say, we've just looked at the books. And at this moment in time, we can't afford to reverse these new taxes and this and that. The Tories and Labour are different cheeks of the same arse. They will reverse nothing. So I wouldn't trust them.